Hi, Cancer. It's so wonderful to finally see you virtually in person. I finally set up my recording studio. I hope you like it. Yeah, I'm like a week behind, so I really appreciate your patience, and I'm going to try to make it really quick for the sake of time and everything. My usual spiel is that these, of course, are general readings, so these won't be for everyone, but hopefully the most important messages get out there. I work with the tarot and the oracle, and the roles and the characters and the messages can all be reversed. So if I say that I'm talking about you, it might be someone else in your life. And if this doesn't quite resonate with you, then maybe it will give you insight into a dynamic or a personal psychology of someone else in your life. So without further ado, let's get started. Cancer, I shuffle the cards right before I press play because I find it a bit too loud and distracting on camera. So as soon as I get the cards, I press play, okay? And these are, I shuffle them so they come out, and these are all intuitive messages for you. And I just have to say, as I was shuffling and tuning into your energy, I was feeling very, very emotional. And the first card that you have is the Eight of Swords, and I believe this is your past energy. This is what you've just been currently getting out of, which of course can represent feelings of entrapment, of isolation, of feeling like barricaded, suffocated, just not really seeing a way out, those types of energies. And then the next card that we have here is the Page of Swords. So this was the deep heart-centered emotion that I was feeling from you, that I almost want to cry. There recently has been, and I feel like this was very long and arduous and a long time coming, Cancer. And now you're feeling victorious, and it's almost like, oh my God, is it really over? Like, am I really free? Is this really happening? And I'm almost feeling like, it seemed like there was like no way out. Like you just couldn't see in front of you. And the way this came about seemed so like it just wrapped up in a really nice, neat box. It was sophisticated, and it all ended and it just went poof with so much grace. And so this could have been a circumstance, like a moment, just like a single moment that this happened, and this was a long time coming in healing from. This could have been a form of depression that that you chronically struggled with, or some kind of other mental illness, or just some kind of struggle spiritually, mentally, emotionally. This could have been a dynamic, a family dynamic, or a dynamic within a group of people. In any way that it happened, I get the sense that you were chronically dealing with very low energies. And this also could have been like a physical illness too. But this totally, I mean, both of these things totally revolutionized your life. And without this happening, you wouldn't be as far along in life as you would be now, or far along in spirituality or consciousness, or in your career, or in your relationships as you are now. And whatever form of bondage this was, something happened where that all just got cut away, and you were just like, am I really free? Like, is it really over? And again, I said this in the Libra extended reading. It's really sad, but those baby elephants that get captured, and they get a rope tied around their ankle, and when they're babies they don't have the strength to break free, and so there's this level of conditioning that goes on in the elephant psyche, so that when it becomes an adult, when it can break free, it believes that it can't, and so it stays stuck there because of past conditioning, because it thinks that it had the same strength as it did when it was a baby, never really testing if it has more strength, and if it just tried a little bit, it would be able to break free with no problem at all. So really, it seems like on some level that happened to you, where perhaps something, someone, or perhaps if it was some kind of depression or anything like that, perhaps there was a little voice in your head from past wounding or pain of some kind, was telling you just lies about yourself, and you found a way to cut that away in the most sophisticated and gracious way, and you find yourself thinking, was it that easy all along? Or maybe not quite that, but I just can't believe that is over. And yes, Cancer, that is completely over. Whatever that was for you personally, that whatever dynamic or cycle that was for you, that it's completely over, Cancer. It's completely over. And this emotional the reason why I'm getting so emotional is because I feel like I'm tapping into just the extreme relief that you have of this just being gone and cut away from you, and you feeling absolutely blameless, unscathed, untainted by all of this, and feeling a sense of rebirth and renewal, and knowing that it was there all along. Gosh, Cancer, you're making me so emotional, and it's really beautiful. What is happening with you is really beautiful, and whatever you have done has been so deeply profound and has created this ripple effect in the universe, and whether you know it or not, it's deeply affecting me, so it's of course affecting other people, other beings that you don't even know, that you aren't even aware of. Whether this was generational or not, whether this was a family paradigm or not, I feel that whatever this was, you have totally revolutionized what future generations will experience and won't ever have to experience again. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is that the depths of what you have done spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, is very, very profound. And it's not just you, it's not just something that you did, but it's something that you did that is impacting the whole world on a very, very deep level, whether you know it or not, and whether they know it or not. So this breakthrough that you've done, that you've just totally punched through and transformed, transcended, has basically anointed you. So this sword cuts things, and it also anoints you master of your emotions, being a master of deep emotions. And there's all sorts of waves behind this guy, and he's completely unfazed. And so no matter what is going on around you, you're able to keep your balance. So that kind of gives me the imagery of, have you ever seen one of those people where they take like a board and they put it on top of a ball and they try to balance themselves? I think there's even something like that, like at the gym, where there's like this board that you try to balance on, and it strengthens your core. It strengthens who you really are at your deepest level. you know, I can tie it all back around. So you've now become a master of doing that. And so it doesn't matter what kind of waves come your way, you've now learned how to ride that while still maintaining your balance. And you've achieved this new level of stability and foundation and steadiness and personal security within yourself. And additionally, that has anointed a union between you and you, between your personal physical self and your inner being, your higher self, with source, however you want to verbalize that or conceptualize that. There is this wonderful new union, and this could also be a physical union with another person. You could have found your soulmate, your twin flame, or you have found union in your mind, in your heart, or it could be with another person, like a family member or a coworker, perhaps. But there's some kind of union that is going on in your life that's very, very profound. And so I just want to celebrate you, Cancer, because what you've done is so phenomenal. And I just want to end the reading with these last 3 pieces of advice. The first one is that you are a warrior, man or woman. You are a warrior, and you're a warrior of the human spirit, of light, of grace personified, of, I don't know if the word exists, but you're a warrior of transcending darkness into lightness. There's an ability that you have or you are in a process of mastering. And I think of a queen or king when his or her people come to them with a problem and they think that the world is over. And the king or queen is able to sit there and listen and breathe and then say the answer. And so you're able to take the contrast of your life or the contrast of other people's lives and breathe and bestow upon them the divine solution. Okay, so the second piece of advice is keepers of the earth. You are not alone, and ancient ancestors stand behind you. And I feel like you probably already know this, but if you don't, they have been with you, your guides, your angels, whatever you want to call it, have been with you every step of the way, and they have given you the strength to get to where you are today. And they are still with you. And now I'm sure you will start having experiences where you can feel them even more deeply. The last piece of advice is Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided. So you're finding more and more alignment with yourself, and you're finding ways to more easily connect with who you really are and follow that with ease and have that clarity of mind and clarity of your emotions to be receptive to that. And I kind of skipped it in the beginning, but just in case it will benefit you for the other signs, I was kind of going over the astrological summary of the month. And there is a huge focus on your higher mind. Venus has moved into your 9th house of your higher mind. So I'm sure that, especially based off everything that I said, you're going to have more deeper awakenings, and perhaps you might be developing more intuitive skills and abilities and just having deeper insights on a deep, profound spiritual level. And this Mercury retrograde might be making you reevaluate your mindfulness, your peacefulness, maybe the things that are kind of deterring from your sense of peace, and then later in the month you'll be able to implement these new insights that you get. And then the other thing is that there's going to be a focus on your foundation and your structure. So I sense that there was a huge cutting out of something in your life. And that is just going to give rise to even more security and stability and a stronger foundation in your life. So I feel like you're going to be thinking more and more about what's serving you and what's not, and what's making you stronger and what's not. And there could be more new opportunities for your career or work. And I see you, as the month and year progresses, you just coming out more, if you haven't already, into being this social butterfly and mixing it up and getting out there and meeting people that are more in harmony with who you are, Cancer. Yeah. But yeah, I see you connecting more with people in a very loving way and maintaining this newfound sense of peace and balance in your life. And I just want to say that physically, I get this sense that you had been carrying this burden for a really long time, whatever this was. And it was almost like intertwined with you and started to grow as a part of you. And you were somehow able to finally let this go. And now you feel like you have way more space than you ever imagined that you would have. And so I feel that this is going to be a very sensitive time. So I just want to say, just really take your time this month. This year is going to be a big year. A lot of amazing things are going to be happening. But you're very strong. Please don't get me wrong. I just want to say that okay, I'm sorry I'm kind of going over, but I'm sorry I'm getting emotional again. But okay, for any of those like 80s, 90s kids who, anyway, there was this show called Boy Meets World, and his name was Corey, and he lived right next door to his teacher. And one day the teacher was explaining to him that he had to replant this flower because it was getting too big for its environment. And so the teacher had to take the flower out of its environment, which is the metaphor of you cutting away things that were no longer serving you. So you're kind of in this vulnerable state, and now you're being placed back into an environment that's going to be more conducive to your overall well-being and growth. And so while you're in mid-flight to this new destination that's going to be of great benefit for you, and that's going to be much more soothing and comfortable, not in a mediocre sense, but in a deeply satisfying way, it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, almost like a baby experiencing the world for the first time. So I just want to say, just take it easy, just be gentle with yourself and maintain those boundaries that you have, and don't try to push yourself beyond your limits, and just take it really slow and allow all of your petals to unfold in your own perfect time. So I'm going to leave it there, Cancer. If you want to join me in the extended to dive more deep into these energies, I'd love to have you. And if this is where we part ways, then I wish you nothing but peace, love, and harmony. You're amazing, Cancer.